Hello and welcome to the Premier Football Podcast. This is Joe, and in our first feature piece of the 2020-21 season, we're taking a look at Jack Grealish, Aston Villa's star man and captain, and whether he's going to regret choosing England over Ireland as he did 5 years ago. Now, Gareth Southgate just last week announced his England squad for the upcoming Nations League fixtures, and not picking any recognised left backs, mainly down to injury. The most notable omission from the squad in terms of form was Aston Villa's Jack Grealish. Now, Grealish scored 8 goals in 36 Premier League games, and I believe he registered 6 assists in that time as well. He can play as a number 10, as a left winger, and I think he could probably play in a midfield 3 as well, maybe on the left of that. And if you look at the England squad, yeah, they have some great wide forwards, the likes of Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, I suppose. He's been playing on the wing for Manchester United and doing very well. Mason Greenwood, and of course Raheem Sterling of Manchester City. So it might be difficult to imagine him getting in ahead of those players, certainly the 3 more established. But if you look at England's attacking midfield options, creative midfield options, for this squad, it's Mason Mount, Phil Foden. Now, undoubtedly they're both good players. Mount's got 7 goals in 37 league games for Chelsea. Foden got 5 in 23 for City. Neither as good statistically as Jack Grealish, both playing for much better teams. Villa only scraped to survive at the end of the season, and City and Chelsea both finished in Champions League places. So you kind of wonder why he's being left out by Gareth Southgate. Is he a luxury player? Yes, I suppose he is. He seems to be almost a Matt Letizia type. I don't mean exactly in the mould, but in that you have to build your whole team around him. And interestingly enough, as well with Letizia, England were very reluctant to play him in the 1990s and 2000s when he was at his best. I don't think that Grealish is in the same class as Letizia. Let's get that straight. Grealish is extremely good, but Letizia was genuinely one of the best Premier League players of all time, and of course played for Southampton his whole career. But I think at that stage England felt that they couldn't afford a quote unquote luxury player for the Nations League. I really think that they have missed a trick by not selecting Jack Grealish. I think he's better than Mason Mount. Phil Foden, I think, is probably more talented, but I think he's a better footballer than Mason Mount, and he proved that. He's a sort of player who comes up in big moments, and he did that time and again for Villa last year. He was their top goal scorer, top assists, and yeah, he had a really good full Premier League season. I think he played 17 games in the 2014-15 season for Villa when they got relegated, and about the same the season before, and then obviously 3 seasons in the Championship. But this was his first full season in the Premier League, and he really took it by storm. He's been linked with the likes of Manchester United, so that shows that he's doing a lot right. He's obviously also captain of Aston Villa at just the age of 24. As I mentioned at the start of the video, 5 years ago almost to the day, in September 2015, Grealish, after talks with Roy Hodgson, pledged his international future to England. This is after playing for Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, that is, from under 17 level all the way up to under 21 level. I believe his last full year in under 21s, he won Player of the Year. And although he was born in Birmingham, and he's obviously played for Villa his whole career, except for a few loan spells when he was in his late teens, he grew up in an Irish family, and I think he has 3 Irish grandparents, and he played Gaelic football and hurling for Warwickshire GAA from the age of 10 to 14. And that's really not something that you do if you don't feel a strong connection to your Irish roots. I mean, certainly Ray for myself, we've never played Gaelic football. I'm actually part English and part Irish as well, and I definitely don't. I mean, certainly in terms of how I've seen Jack Grealish tweet about Ireland in the past, I don't share the same passion for the country. Not to say that I don't love Ireland, but he seemed to be very almost nationalistic in his tweets. I think he had tweeted some sort of pro-IRA thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard that he tweeted some pro-IRA things in the past. So to then go and declare for England is a little bit strange, and the backlash from the Irish fans was quite severe. He was receiving a hell of abuse in 2015 when he did declare for England. I think that if he declared for Ireland, he would have had be having a great international career. Ireland are the sort of team that would be able to do a Villa and build the whole team around him. He can be playing in that free role, either behind the striker or on the left hand side, and would be a real fundamental part of the side. I'd say he would be by far the best attacking player that Ireland would have. He would have started being picked regularly in 2015, maybe gone to Euro 2016. He would have had the Nations League. He would have been playing in qualifiers for World Cup 2018 and for Euro 2020. Ireland narrowly missed out on qualification for Euro 2020 by 3 points, and they drew 4 games out of 8, and they only scored 7 goals. I really think that over the course of those 8 games, Jack Grealish would have been able to have 4 or 5 goal contributions at least in terms of goals and assists combined, and that could have made a big difference in Ireland getting to Euro 2020, and then he would have had the opportunity to go on and play at perhaps another major international competition after having played in Euro 2016. So whether he'll live to regret that is interesting. It doesn't look like Gareth Southgate fancies him. Like I said about Matt Letitia at the start of the video, again, he was a quality club footballer who just never got a look in. He was capped for England, but he never got the regular game time that he should have. He was one of England's best players in that period in the 1990s and early 2000s. So yeah, he's going to turn 25 next month, and he's in the middle of his career now, isn't he? There's still time to make that change if that's what he wants. Like I said, he hasn't played a competitive game, or he's not even been capped by England. So there's definitely the opportunity there to have talks with Stephen Kenny, the new Ireland manager, and the FAI, and to reverse that decision. But how the Irish fans would react to that would be, I don't know. I mean, there'd be backlash, wouldn't there? Going to declaring for England and then failing to make an appearance for them and deciding to go back and play for Ireland again. But I think he'd be a genuine asset to the Irish team. He's something that excites the whole stadium, and Ireland really don't have too many of them. I also think that given he's captain of Aston Villa already, Ireland have shown in the past that they're not scared of making forwards or attacking players captain if they're the best player on the team. I mean, Robbie Keane was captain of Ireland for the best part of a decade, if not longer. He was obviously a striker, so you never know. Jack Grealish could be captain material as far as Ireland were concerned. So that's all we have time for today. Just a quick look at Jack Grealish and whether he might live to regret declaring for England over Ireland, given that it's been 5 years now and he's not even made a squad. He's not made his debut. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll be back with more content throughout the season, starting with next week. We're going to preview the Premier League, do a transfer wrap up, and then we'll start with the first full pod after game week 1. So don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, share the content around, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.